Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be building an AI chatbot agent live for you, going through the step-by-step process on exactly how to do that. This AI chatbot is going to be a pretty simple version. It's not going to have too many tools and all that, but it's going to show you the basic building blocks of what a chatbot and an AI agent can do for you and how to go through the step-by-step to build it. Let's jump straight into it. So today we're going to be building the agent on buildmyagent.io. This is a great platform because it's got a lot of all the information you need to set up an agent already built into it, plus a couple of the templates. Just with this one, because it is just going to be dealing with customer support inquiries, we'll just go for the basic support AI. Right, we'll name it. We're building this one for Dex Contracts today, which is a groundworks company based in Ayrshire. When I spoke to the owner of this, he said he wanted it because essentially his situation, like a lot of business owners, they are super busy all the time actually doing the work. He struggles to then spend the time to get new customers, take phone calls and stuff like that. So he's asked us to build as a chatbot for his new website that he's going to be creating, so that for anyone that goes onto his new website, it can handle any customer questions they've got, and then if they want to book a call, they can do that. Now, with the steps we've just went through there, so we've selected support AI, we've named it just Dex Contracts, Industry, Groundworks, and the language, you just put that as English. Go on to the next page. Now the next part is to select the AI model that you want to use. Now for these ones, obviously you've got GPT, all the different ones in there. Picking the right AI model is going to be dependent on what you want it to do. For example, if you were making this as like a voice agent, you're going to want a quick model because again, you don't want there to be an awkward delay when it's on the phone with anyone. So we do want this one to be pretty quick. So we're going to go for 4.1 mini. Okay, and it does tell you the price per 1 million tokens. For this one, we are going to add a new API key. So I just went over to OpenAI platform and selected a new API key. So I'll just put that in. And that'll be for Dex Contracts API. And save that. We want the answers to be pretty consistent, so the fact it's already set at 0.3, that's perfect. And control diversity, again, just keep that as it is, you don't really need to worry much about that. Now, with this part, the personality and knowledge, it's already got some things in here, right? So, language instructions, the AI should speak English, the prompt should be written in English, AI should speak informal in a friendly tone, like two friends texting on SMS. Grade 311 according to the Hemingway app, right? What this basically means is that the fact it's got this input in there, this is not actually you prompting the agent, this is just creating the settings for the system to itself already create a prompt for the agent. So it's really helpful if you don't know much about prompt engineering, a super simple way that you can get this done, right? So that you can just keep that as it is. AI description. Create an AI that should work through as a support agent for a groundworks company, friendly, engaging, with great customer support skills and empathy. Perfect. You don't need much more than that. Rules and guidelines. Now this is gonna just give it some extra notes on how to act. So handle questions with empathy and understanding. Don't repeat questions back to them because agents, they like to do that. When someone asks them a question, it's, can you do fencing? Then the agent will quite commonly go back to them, are you interested in fencing? Of course they are, they've just asked that, so just doing that back to it. Don't excessively use exclamation marks and don't use smiley emojis. I will keep this one in. Depending on your industry, you probably want to adjust that. So for example, if you're like a solicitor or an accountant, you probably want to keep it a bit more formal. And again, in here as well, is you would probably change it to a more formal yet friendly tone, because again, that it just depends on what you're doing for it. Conversation flow. The AI should handle any objections from any groundworks customers, then ask a variation, is there anything else I can help you with? Pretty much that. Now, company information. The really good thing with this website is that it's really easy to add company information. So if you're looking to input some company information, now I already do have some company information for Dex Contracts here. So what I'm basically just going to do is just copy all the information that I was given. There you go. And then with one click of a button, it generates a frequently asked question for the AI agent. So this comes up with a frequently asked questions for all the kind of basic things that the AI thinks that your customers would likely ask. And again, it even has in there the number and the email to adjust to. If you obviously change these in the future, you just need to come back in and adjust those. It's a really helpful way to just give the AI a good knowledge base for your company. Save changes and click next. So the configuration, obviously you've got the name, the industry, the template again, which is the support AI, and the model. This basically just confirms everything for you, and it says that it's ready to generate. And just like that, the agent is built. That's it. That is the agent there with your prompt and everything ready to go. Now, the good thing with this is it's got the AI test lab. So in here, this is where you can test your agent. So you can try test it. Hi. I am interested in fencing. Do you? And we'll say, I am interested in your services. What kind of groundworks do you do? So we're basically testing the agent here to make sure that it's got the right information we want and that it's given the right answers. Perfect. So we do lots of groundwork stuff like foundations, roads, driveways, ducts, drainage, ground clearing and fencing. I am interested in a new driveway and fencing. How can I book for a quote? Maybe something that a customer would probably ask. And perfect, just like that. Cool choice. You can get a quote by reaching out to us, and it's provided the number and email address, right? So if you wanted to make this AI agent a bit more complex, add a tool. This is the actual prompt for the agent itself. So if you wanted to fix anything in here, what you can do is if you come into here and tell the AI what you want it to fix. Say you want it to use more emojis. Just for talking sake, because you want to keep it a bit more friendly. You can click accept, and that changes the actual prompt itself. And as you see in the frequently asked questions part as well, it's just added loads more emojis into it. So naturally the model is just going to do that. If you weren't looking to actually adjust the prompt, but you were looking to actually add a tool to this, there's a couple of different ways you can do that. Again, you can upload more knowledge base for it. You can actually add a second worker agent or even just a tool. Let's say you wanted to provide the agent with the ability to provide rough quotes for all these different services, you know, from the foundations to drainage, fencing. These are all very different things. Now you could give it a tool for each individual one, but that would probably then get quite complicated and it might overload the agent. So what you might want to do is then create a sub-agent on itself just to deal with quotes. You can then add all the information into there. The main agent would then feed all the information to the sub-agent with all that information, and you just basically train that one agent to look for a quote, so that then when the conversation's flowing and then the main agent knows it needs a quote, it then knows to feed the information to the worker agent to then get a quote and it feeds it back to it. But if this company just did fencing and it was easier to just do a quote on that, you could just create a tool. Again, you could just create a webhook for that and you could go over to a workflow that you've created and you could just get it to retrieve a quote from there. I actually don't see that there's much we need to change about the agent. Again, it is built pretty good. I mean, it's just going to answer customer service questions. It's not going to do the job of getting any customer information and then sending that information anywhere, which is a really helpful tool. We're happy with it, so that we're now going to go to launch, create a new sub account. So we'll say Dex contracts, create a new sub account. Now in creating this sub account, so the first thing we're going to do is add an agent. Dex contracts web chatbot. Web chatbot agent, we'll call it that. And integration, we're going to do this one. If you were looking to then integrate it into Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, text, Instagram DMs, you can use the same agent. You don't need to rebuild a new agent. You can just deploy that new agent on a different platform. But for this one, we're just going to keep it as a chatbot. Select AI build, Dex contracts. Now it's just the point of actually adjusting how it looks. So in terms of where you want it, if you want it all over the page, I mean, bottom right is probably the most consistent in a normal page. If you want it to do a welcome message, hi, how can I help you today? You can obviously adjust this to wherever you want. And then the pop-up message as well. So whether you wanted that or not, I always think it's good to have, just to keep that there. And if you wanted to change the colors of it, Dex contracts colors red. So we would just adjust that. And if you want to add your company logo onto it, you can just put that in there. It's super simple to upload. Now, in terms of actually deploying the agent, all you actually need to do is copy this text in this little box here. You just copy that, and then whatever website builder you're on, add custom code onto there, and you can add it pretty much anywhere on the page, and it will add the AI chatbot. And that's it. That's all the steps you actually need to do to build a functioning AI chatbot. This is just the simplest version of an AI chatbot you can build to do customer service. Just answer simple questions and help customers out, and even point them in the right direction of a phone number and an email address. But this is the very basics about what you could build. You know, as I said, you could give it tools to give quotes for you, to actually book appointments in your calendar, capture customer data. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you took a little bit away from that one in terms of how to build an AI agent. If you saw the last video, you saw that I am looking to work with 10 clients for free. Now, the spaces are already filling up. I've already got one on board, and I've got more calls booked in for other people. If you are looking to integrate AI agents or AI automations into your business, I am looking to work with clients, and I am doing a free AI assessment to sit down with you for 10-15 minutes and understand what AI automations could be input to your business. Anything that you like the sound of after the AI assessment, I am offering to build that for you free of charge. I only ask that you use it, you give me any feedback, and if you're happy with it, you provide the testimonial. If you liked the video, if you could just subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it with everyone, I would really appreciate that. Well guys, I'll see you in the next one.